Coated in egg yolk, she turns to her groom, Nathan Burning, who has a GoPro live video chamber installed on his trunk. "Did you get how on ribbon? Is it on, baby? Rotate it at," she says. As Faulkner wipes the chaos of her person, a Comrade Against Abortion campaign participant approaches her, proverb she'll be inviting the police force to include a C. "Okay," Faulkner says in a smiling. "I'm agitated." In fair days before Ireland votes in a plebiscite on if to annul the 8 correction to the Basic Law, that places the order to lifetime of an future kid on equivalent basis in how of the mom, campaigners include be more confrontational in their tactic. If a most voice yes on Friday, Ireland is anticipated to accept law how will enable for terminations up to 12 weeks in a pregnant. A no voice would hold the nation's miscarriage laws, several of the largest limiting in the advanced planet, in location. But not all of such targeting voters in leaflets, placards and public print posts are Irish. Faulkner, 23, and Burning, 25, are founders of the Colorado-based Against Abortion team Let Them Dwell. They've passing to Ireland for the monthly guideline up to the historical survey to influence the voters to voice pro-life and with hope hold Ireland pro-life. Mainly he's a Roe v. sneak, but Irish styling, Faulkner said a team of us students she was trying to hire for the travel, relating to the milestone 1970s trial instance how done it legislative for female through the joint state to include abortions. While the pair, both of related in the US-based prudent non-commercial The Management Institution, start up a $10,000 crowdfunding campaigning to financial the travel, they had spelled they'd be volunteering in Ireland's pro-lifetime campaigning. But following they skilled and sudden clearance of Irish pro-fear repeal groups, who told they weren't great and endangered to paper them to migration, they modified how specification, removal any refer of connecting the campaigning in informal power. "We were deadly frightened we were departure to get rotated off at the valve," says Burning, and needing to do certainly how human beings didn't sense endangered by us upcoming. Groups devoted to abolishing the 8 correction outlined the pair's tactic as misleading. Faulkner told she and Burning arriving at Dublin Airport in previous May and said migration commanders they had no particular plans for the travel rather than documentation the campaigning. One day they were let via the airport gates, the couple began to mobilize, design canvassing material they outlined as data coverage how else term would conduct to Ireland of the US. The members of Let Them Dwell are not the just Americans support the against abortion motion there. How's a ulcer object for the members of Let Them Dwell, who had been hoping to job in a more than formal power in the no campaigning. "I believe down there's fair a paranoid, Burning explainable of the reasons why no campaigners didn't wish to get implicated in his team. They don't wish to break down any rules. For us, it sucks since we wish to assist them, but for them, they're creature clever, perhaps. By Irish Act, overseas countrymen and groups are not permitted to do any finance grant to Irish campaigning groups. Yet, it is not clear if Let Them Dwell would include been permitted to campaigning formally in the no campaigning in a volunteer power. Several Irish are offended by overseas groups love Let Them Dwell, disputing how us campaigners are with their vacations to phase a authorization war on females' rights in their nation. Meadaried in Wright, an Irish miscarriage rights campaign participant and elder lecturer in law at the College of Birmingham in England, is more than skeptical of their achieve. "I don't include a legislative opposition to it but it strikes me as a impoverished education expertise," she told. "I would miracle on how they excuse it, if they excuse it as a humane rights campaigning or if they are substantiating it as a complementary travel to the ancient nation in that they will attract in policy how I would think they would include really slight straight private insight from. Private betrothal on a regional standard has ever been key to Irish policy, so how type of joint-in is really hard to do efficaciously. So the concept how overseas team would believe they would include lot of an effect in the way of straight canvassing strikes me as awfully innocent." On an gloomy night, the Americans huddled in Pray external a town justice house. They were down there to visit and movie and miscarriage rights campaigning occasion. Within, members of Let Them Dwell registered in frontline seats, wherever they heard, to a pane of miscarriage rights activists say on the damage they trust the 8 correction causes to female. Ireland's Public Health Secretary alerted on a mist of disinformation creature utilized to unite and embarrass voters. A live video play, showing parents of a pregnant woman female who traversed for a completion following creature said her infant wouldn't pull through external the uterus. They appealed for sympathy. Thou cannot magistrate human beings' actions and say you include the solutions, the female in the live video told. As the occasion wrapped up, Burning exchanged his live video chamber for a package of Let Them Dwell flyers. He laid down them out on the panelists' spreadsheet as one of the team's members, Binyam Kapil, was requested to halt shooting in a hidden hand-sized chamber. They regrouped external, wherever Faulkner and some members began to spread flyers to passers-by before House Safety aware them how leafleting on town justice perspectives was forbidden. Burning surveyed how wouldn't be real, since they include the Constitution order to liberty of speaking, he told. But laws in Ireland very much of such in the US. And for several Irish, who terror overseas impact on their policy trial, it is the relation how is restless. The personality described, Profi-Life host, later took to a centre Dublin road, wherever their flyers were met in blended reactions, maybe an sign of the newest elector intentions. Latter polls propose the yes campaigning is front, but just lightly. Burning presented a pilot to a female who was walk rapidly via the road in her affiliate. Following glimpsing at the pilot, she later suspended up stunning it up slow. The team was as well met in more than favorable responding, consisting a mom who courteously smiled as she explainable she already understood the different stages of fetal growth. Else man said them he wasn't concerned in flyers but would be vote no since he didn't confidence political community. Later down there were such who were frustrated to find out the team were not Irish. He's a slight bit interesting since which thou ve got there are some human beings upcoming and preventing there, told George age 23, who requested for his recent behalf to be deducted. It seems odd on the shallow since he's an Irish constitution question. It feels love Russia and America and Donald Trump card, and how wasn't requested. Is the requested there? It's slightly away, if you aware which I indicate. Ireland's plebiscite is take location in the wake up of the Cambridge Analytica revelations, the Brexit voice keep financial fracas and extended radioactive fallout nearby estimated Ruski intervention in the 2016 US poll. Irish political community are fighting to go to regulation in the distant reaching effect public print can include on elections. Actual time indicators of overseas intervention include sparked fears amongst clarity groups how Ireland could as well be sensitive to a such destiny as its neighbours to the east and western. Though Irish law bans overseas grant to campaigns, regulation about overseas advertisement on the internet don't already exist. The efficaciously foliage Facebook, Google and Google-owned YouTube as main campaign perspectives for nobody willing to run an ad, independently of position. Irish legislator James Illegal at first put striker a public print clarity draft in December 2017, in the aim to bring the hazard of overseas actors affecting forthcoming campaigns. The draft was discarded recent year, but he's now creature revised as the decisions of the two US technology giants include driven world focus to Ireland's election consistency. In previous May, Facebook told it would ban overseas bot ads associated to the voice, Google suspended all ads associated to the plebiscite. Pro-fear appeal groups applauded the judgment, proverb it would standard the game box. Against abortion groups told the go was testimony of a rigged poll and a interdiction on complimentary speaking how would efficaciously silent their campaigning. And such loopholes are pop up through the plate. Meantime, several US-based against abortion groups include been capable to go on fleeing ads on their Facebook pages how include aim Irish voters immediately. One of them, the contentious New York-based Waiting Mom Thoroughness, EMC, Frontline Pregnant Centers, ran at low 10 against abortion ads targeting Irish voters next Facebook's ad. Its founding member is now newcomer Ireland in the conduct up to the voice. Time how fight continues to fury on the internet. The Let Them Dwell members are hoping their efforts on the land can assist influence voters. A shore burning detained a fistful of flyers as he walked downward a shore festival flanked in yes and no campaigning posters. Turns out anything we were initially planner on making was illicit at all, he told. Addition, how the team's schedule for the definitive days of campaign was to agitate highways and city centers in 5,000 posters they had published in Ireland. He'll type of be love if we're promotion a gig. Faulkner told. The posters, that characteristic a image of a fetal at 12 weeks, recite tell no to miscarriage on consumer demand. It doesn't say voice no or voice affirmative, she added.